Hello, folks. This is Mel down here in Costa Rica, and we got some of our alumni that joined us inside our Telegram group, which you can join down below free of charge. You got the Quantum Financial Systems Manual free of charge, and we're going through a quantum financial change of the earth. The whole fabric of the earth is going to change on a quantum level. You might as well join because we're never going back to the old system. We got Darren from Oregon, which is enemy front lines over there with Black Lives Matter and Antifa. So he's sort of got to dodge some bullets to try and make some sales, you know. And then we got Daniel down in Houston, and we got Ellen in Arizona. These are all people in our room. So today they're going to ask me some questions of the market and whatever they want to ask, maybe the lawsuit, whatever. And we'll see if it gets interesting. If it makes the cut, we'll put it on YouTube and Rumble. All right. Don't forget also to join our secondary channel on YouTube and our secondary channel on Rumble as well. Guys, welcome to the call.
How you doing, Mel?
Who wants to go first?
I think I'll go ahead and just ask my question again, just so it's out there for other people who aren't uphold.
Sure.
I had to use my bank account to purchase XLM and XLP, and I bought a Nano X for a hard wallet because I was having drama getting on the other wallets.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have to wait 64 days to deposit it off of the Uphold site. So I'm going to do that and I'll wait. So I just wanted to make sure other people actually knew that that was the challenge, because all of my credit cards and my debit card were not going to allow me to buy XR and buy cryptocurrency.
Well, they make it really hard because there's a hidden law that nobody knows about. It's not on the books, but it is a law. It's called make sure the deplorables stay deplorable. They don't want you to become rich, you know, because they know that if, you know, Ellen's got 100,000 XRP and all of a sudden XRP is worth, you know, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, and Ellen is a billionaire, you know, the what do you call the cabal cannot mess with you because you have firepower. You know, we're not getting into this because we want to become rich, because we want to mess with the cabal and the George Soroses in the world, or the Gary Genslers. We don't want to fight, but if you want to come look for a fight, you got one. You know what I mean? So
right.
and they don't want that because they know that payback is a bitch better than anybody. And they, you know, when you create a million new billionaires, or maybe 10 million new billionaires and multi-billionaires that were so known as the deplorables, and now collectively they're worth trillions of dollars. You know, Houston, we got a problem, you know, and they're going to have a problem. They know that, but they're going to go away. See where they're going? Doesn't matter how many XRPs they own. Where they're going, they won't be able to spend any of it. So, Darren, you got a question?
Well, I was just looking at the SEC lawsuit. We know it's a big joke and a charade, but any idea what's your gut? Not a real date, but what's your gut of how long before at least that first trigger, the SEC lawsuit, is disclosed as being over?
April, May, just around the same time that I think Trump will be back. It's all kabuki theater. It's all slow. It's all to slow the thing down because we cannot launch Gessera Nessera, which XRP is going to be what? The bus that drives Gessera Nessera and the entire quantum financial system. All right. With, you know, this guy that is maybe a clone, maybe he's a robot, maybe he's an actor. I don't know what he is, but even Trump said, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" You know, maybe he's making a hint that, you know, this guy is not who we think he is. And he said that on several occasions. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos.
He said months ago, he said, Joe Biden, he's shot.
Yeah, he's shot. Like somebody
shot
him.
Right. Long time ago. Yep. Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. We're in a movie.
You know, it is.
This is a movie, you know, and people have to understand that this is a movie. You know, if you don't understand the movie, if you can't see the movie, come into my movie theater for about 2 or 3 months, talk to some of our people, and let us show you some videos and let us show you some facts and figures, and then you'll understand. Holy shit, maybe Mel and Darren are right. You know what I mean? No kidding, Sherlock.
Yeah.
You know? So, Darren, how's things down there in Houston, buddy?
It's Daniel.
Nope,
Sorry, Mel.
I'm in Oregon. There you
Yeah.
go.
No, Darren is down in Houston. Daniel.
Yep. Things are good, Mel. Hey, quick question around that. Really quick in terms of the timeline for Trump to come back into office, right? You say April, May. What does that process look like, right? Does Biden just leave office? What does that look like? How does Trump come back into this scenario?
I was told that you're going to see these people slowly just fade away. It's like the movie ends and all of a sudden you don't see these bad actors anymore, because look at what's going on in Washington, D.C. The fencing, supposedly he had a State of the Union. Did you ever see such a disaster in your life? I mean, Pelosi looked like she had about 9 martinis prior to that thing. Kamala Harris looked like she smoked at least 3 joints, at least minimum. This is not normal operating procedures for a White House, the superpower that runs the entire world. We are right now the laughing stock, but you see, this is my argument. They had to allow these bad actors to get in so that we could do what? Wake up the normies. See, I don't give a shit if you're a normie, if you believe CNN, if you believe Fox, if you believe ABC, always broadcasting crap. But one thing you'll definitely understand is when you go to buy a gallon of gas in the next 2-3 weeks and it's going to hit $10, you're going to understand $10 a gallon for gas. It's inevitable, right?
Absolutely.
Or when you go to buy a gallon of milk and it's $14, you buy 12 eggs and it's $9 for a box of eggs. You're going to understand that. So we have to wait for the normies and the 92 IQ people to wake up. And this is why Trump stepped back, said, okay, this is like a forced, red pill down your throat, whether you want it or not. And it's going to come in the form of inflation. It's going to come in the form of, not protecting the borders. It's going to come in the form of a lot of different things, in the form of that thing. And people are just dropping left and right. Okay. I have a guy right now that works for me. And he's an incredible sales guy on the phone. About 2 months ago, he sends me a message. He said, listen, I love you and Amber. You guys got to get that thing because I don't want to see anything happen to you. Well, guess what? He's in the hospital. He got 3 of these things.
Crazy.
And me and Amber are perfectly healthy. You know what I'm saying? So he sends me a text message and he says to me, I sent him a text message. Hey, how's things going? He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I've been sick. I'm in the hospital. I have the C19 thing. I said, well, I told you not to get that thing. It's like, but it's really tough to wake people up. They just don't, when was the last time, anybody trusts the government or the pharmaceutical industry? I mean, you got to be absolutely brain damaged, Yeah. So how are things down in your neck of the woods there, Daniel, down in Houston? Are things calming down? Are people taking the face diaper off or?
It's normalizing, Mel, for the most part. Yeah. So you still have those that are for it, right? But at the end of the day, it's definitely coming down for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here in Costa Rica, they made an announcement that supposedly by April, this whole thing is over. It blows me away. Is like you go into a restaurant, right? They expect you to wear the diaper, right? You're standing up, so you're up here. Your head is up about here. Then you sit down to eat, and you take your thing off because you have to eat, right? So you're telling me what the thing, the C19, it lives up here, but it doesn't live down here? This is total insanity.
Yeah, it makes 0 sense, right? 0 sense. Yeah.
But people are just going along with the program. People don't want to make waves. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I walked into a thrift store with my wife. We're buying some material because I got this dog thing that she made. And my wife is she likes to, make holes and drill wood together. And she made a bunk bed for my dogs, right? and there's a mattress on top, mattress on the bottom. Now she put all like, material around. It looks like a tent for Gaddafi. Okay. I mean, it's luxurious. Okay. So I walk in and they're like, sir, you gotta wear your thing. I said, I'm not going to wear nothing. So another guy came out, sir, you got to wear. I said, I'm not going to wear nothing. So, and they're like mumbling, oh, I can't believe that guy. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, so you got to do it. I'm not doing it. So who's going to force me to do it? Any volunteers? So I'm not gonna genuflect to the New World Order. I'm not gonna do it. I've never submitted to any of this bullshit. I never thought I'd be living through it, to be quite honest with you, but here we are. So all you guys, by the way, are XRP holders, correct? Every single one of you.
Absolutely.
Good. Have you been accumulating, Darren? For how long have you been accumulating for?
Since June of 2021, June of 2020, excuse me. And then when the lawsuit hit, just FOMO'd in with everything. That 17 cents was, I couldn't get it all at 17, but I got a chunk. And
cool.
Yeah, it's really funny, going through this crypto to begin with. It's a whole different thing. I know, I think I've heard on some of your videos that, things like silver and so forth, those are things that you would have accumulated in the past, and me too. And the thought of this magical money that's floating through the air didn't make sense. Kept being asked to do it. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, no, it's like Web 1.0, then it went to Web 2. And now we're going to go to Web 3. And it kind of clicked. And I went, okay, this isn't so magical. This is just an evolution of what we're already doing. And so, I mean, I happen to have a lot of time to be able to see a lot of video. I do a lot of deep diving on lots of stuff. That's just how I'm wired. And I started originally bought ADA, and because my buddy told me to buy ADA. So that was my original buy. And then as I'm buying ADA, but I'm trying to find out about blockchain, I keep seeing all these videos with Ripple in the background, and they're at places like the IMF and the Bank of International Settlement. So I called my buddy. I said, hey, what's this Ripple? He says, well, that's XRP. That's the bankster coin. You don't want that. And I said, bankster coin? That's where all the money's at. It's at the bank.
Well, the reality is,
I said, I don't know. I said, and so I start looking at Ripple and the management team and the company, and I'm going, well, how the hell did a company that started in 2014 even get invited into a room at the IMF and the Bank of International Settlements and all the biggest of the big elites in the world of finance? And I went, there's more than just smoke here. So kept diving in. I'm sure like a lot of the other people. And yeah, just kind of put my targets of how big a bag I wanted. Got to that point and kept adding. I think I need a 12-step program now because I keep buying too much. But
Amber's
it's all good.
Yeah, Amber's accumulated like a lot, and quite a bit. If you watch my video on Grant Cardone, it's not a secret; it's out there. She's got hundreds of thousands of these things.
Sure.
And so we've been accumulating when it was like fractions of a fraction of a penny, long time ago. Yeah. So, but the reality is, we are now that everything is manifesting. We really are the anti-bankers coin, because the bankers know the goose is cooked. Because I've said this a million times. If this thing was done, we'd have a $800 trillion market cap. Okay, XRP be worth 40, 50 grand, and it'd be all over. But because they can't get their piece of the pie, they're fighting like hell and they're manipulating like hell. And it is what it is. But the reality is, they realize that these asset classes work perfectly well peer-to-peer. And once everybody out there starts to figure that out, which takes maybe about 2 hours, you ain't got to be that sharp. 2 hours, you'll know that, holy shit, I could pay people peer-to-peer with cryptocurrencies and I could do away with the banks. Yes. Hello. Right. Like Brad Keim says, come on in. Okay. So, and once people get a wind of that, the party's going to be pretty much over. Is the banks going to survive for another 2, 3, 4 years? Maybe. I don't think they're going to survive that long. I mean, I think guys like, Robert Kiyosaki and Tim Draper and McAfee, they're a lot smarter than I am. And they're saying, no way, it's not going to happen. You guys probably don't own any Bitcoin, right? Nobody here owns Bitcoin. Okay, I sold mine a long time ago.
Yeah, nope.
Daniel, you had a question.
No, I was just going to say, no, no Bitcoin. You look at and you say this all the time, Mel, right? I mean, from an ROI standpoint, what are you going to do? Double your money if that, right? Look at XRP. I mean, you're looking at.
But what are they doing to increase the price of Bitcoin? They're suckering in new people that don't know shit about Shiola, as our friends to the north like to say over there in Canada, right? They don't know nothing about cryptocurrency. So the only thing they hear when they put on ABC, CBS, NBC, all of that stuff, they hear Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. So that's all they know. They pushed us down to we used to be in the number 2 position about 3 years ago. They pushed us down to the number 7 position, 6, 7 position, constantly down there now, because they don't want anybody to pay attention to the one. Okay, but what does Bitcoin do? Store value is not a functionality. The fact that it's scarce is not a functionality. What do they do? So if you go take Bitcoin to a court of law and say, listen, your scarcity is not a functionality, your store value bullshit story that you had to create because you know that you couldn't move the coin fast enough and it's not cheap and you'll do 2 transactions per minute, and to move 1.5 Bitcoins costs $5,000. Nobody wants to do that. So you guys don't have a functionality. If you do, make your case, and they're not going to have a case. And that's a problem. Okay. So what do? They print ThE to pump up Bitcoin, right? At will. That's going to be a lawsuit waiting to happen big time. Okay. And what else do? They bullshit people out there that don't know Bitcoin doesn't have a functionality. It's like, people say, well, we're Lightning Network. Lightning Network is something that they've been trying to do for 4 years, 5 years with no success, 0, right?
Yep.
So, Bitcoin was supposed to do what XRP is doing in flying colors. We know XRP is scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. We know that we can move money at the speed of light from point A to point B. We know it's fractions of a 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 penny to move the money. Okay. Michael Arrington moved $50 million in 2.8 seconds and cost him 30 cents. Where does Bitcoin come into that equation? So,
it doesn't.
Listen,
it definitely doesn't.
Yeah. And the reality is, even guys like Pompliano early on, who's now like one of the major priests of Bitcoin, he was a XRP guy. He actually made a tweet saying, wait until they find out about XRP. That was one of his tweets 6 years ago. And then they grabbed him because he had a perfect smile and he's a beautiful Italian guy. He said, no, we're going to put you on TV. We're going to give you some money. We don't want you to talk XRP. We want you to talk about Bitcoin. Really? You know what I mean? And then you're trying to promote Bitcoin with pizza boxes?
Yeah, crazy.
Sure.
Crazy.
Nope. But Mel, on the bright side, what if all they're doing is training the sheep, the shiny object that could go from nothing to 50,000? It'll make $1,000, $10,000 XRP seem cheap. I'm in at $1,000. So obviously I'm not a seller. I'm actually in it having an account over at PolySign in the future, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot to this. There's a lot of training of the sheep that can be going on that can be a benefit to us for sure.
Yeah, what the people don't understand is the liquidity pools. When Mikkel Markets, who used to draw lines, and I posted that video there early this morning, where he's actually making a video, and I'm making a video of him making the video. So it's a video of a video of a video, There
you go.
And so what happens is, he made a drew 5 circles and basically created a market, a liquidity market. One was gold, one was milk, one was copper, and I forget the other 2. But anyway, it was $100 trillion market. It was a hypothetical example. And he says, in order for XRP to be able to move these 5 liquidity pools, it has to equal 100 trillion. 100 trillion divided by 100 billion is a $1,000 XRP. I said, whoa, somebody in the XRP community just, had an epiphany. They had the light bulbs go off. Absolutely. It's not market cap. Market cap is just a small, market cap is going to go away because XRP is the technology, and we're going to tokenize the gold, and all of the money on earth, real estate, the stock markets, all of it is going to come through XRP. Why? Because we're the fastest. We're the cheapest. Nobody can touch us. We're scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. And when people start to understand that, this party is over. See, when they can't squeeze any more money out of Bitcoin and any more money out of Ethereum, even the Bitcoin Nancy's, even the Michael Saylors of the world, I suspect, will come forward and say, hey, by the way, you should own XRP. By the way, I purchased, 20 million of them when they were 20 cents.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
But right now, they're going to try and squeeze as much as they can. When there's nothing left to squeeze out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're going to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, absolutely. You always have good numbers, because your numbers are valid. There's a lot of people that just throw around.
I always say
your
math
numbers
is
are real.
Yeah, I always say mathematics is like a pregnant woman. You're either pregnant or you ain't pregnant. You can't be almost pregnant, right?
That's right.
Your math is either right on or it's wrong, right? So you're not going to move You're not going to move $5 quadrillion a year. I've said this 1,900,000 times. Okay, you're not going to move $5 quadrillion per year with a 77-cent coin. And then who goes to the meeting at G7 and the G20 and the G30 and the G15 and the G16 and the meeting at the Central Bank of Brazil and the Central Bank of Canada and the Central Bank of England and the Central Bank of Europe? Who? It's not the CEO of Bitcoin.
Brad Garlinghouse.
Right.
Nope.
It's Brad Garlinghouse. It's Chris Larson and Satoshi Nakamoto, David Schwartz.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Right. So when you watch that movie, like me, you watch that movie, Darren, I know you do. When you watch that movie,
big time,
that has been pointed out by Digital Asset Investor at nauseum, right? Yeah. And you watch that same movie and you put in a Crypto Eddie, and she says she's picking out the same freaking, hey, look at these guys, they're at the meeting. Hey, look at these guys, they're at the meeting. It's never anybody else. So you have to be really that smart to figure out, say, holy shit, something's going on over here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Even another market, and you think about the interoperability of XRP to be able to move with all the other currencies. Just look at the amount of money that's going through the Forex market every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's a huge
mind-blowing.
Number. It's a bigger number. It's even a bigger number. It's even a bigger number than those derivative numbers, which are huge. So I mean, it's the Vosa Nostra accounts, or Nosa Vostra accounts, excuse me. $30 trillion just sitting there dormant.
47 trillion sitting dormant in banks just to be able to do remittances. Okay, there's five to $7 trillion a day that moves just in the SWIFT market. How about government to government and corporation to corporation? How about these big car dealerships that are buying, 10,000 cars at a clip? How about all the gold and diamonds and silver that moves on planet Earth? How about all the real estate? How about all of the money that goes into the stock markets of the world? One day you're going to go there and say, there's no more SWIFT system. There's going to be XRP system. They need to get this thing up to a certain number, and the people upstairs, they already know what that number is. They know. Okay. Yeah, and if people think out there, oh no, it can't happen, they'll never buy you out for 37. There's too much of a supply. Let me tell you something. There's not enough of a supply. We don't have enough. That's why we're going to have the XLMs of the world and the casino coin and the V chains and the Hedera hash graph. Okay, because you cannot have, you're going to have the $50 bill. You're going to have the $100 bill. It's like, you know, your monetary system right now, you got a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $20 bill, a $50 bill, and a $100 bill. Well, someone's going to have to step up to the plate to fulfill that. And that's going to be the VeChains of the world, which is going to track everything on Earth. If you're a manufacturer, as a matter of fact, if you guys don't own any VeChain, you better buy some, because VeChain is going to be $50, $100 conservatively. Why? Because you have, when you're moving all the products on Earth, and you got this watch, for example, let's say this is a Seiko, or it's a G-Force, G-Watch, whatever. You want to authenticate that thing. You're going to have no choice but to put it on the blockchain, so that when I get that thing, I have authenticity that this is exactly what I ordered. So every product that is manufactured on Earth that needs to be authenticated is going to have to go through the VeChain system. And you can buy VeChain today for 5 cents. So my question to you is, how many would you like to buy?
Yeah, I was buying at 0.002 mil.
I sold, you know, I had 3 cars. I have my wife's Mini Cooper. I got a dune buggy, an orange dune buggy that I built down here, which is like the most expensive dune buggy in Latin America, with a, you know, $5,000 stereo system, and it's crazy. But anyway, I'm rebuilding the motor right now. And I had an SUV. I'm saying, we don't need 3. We got 2 people driving. We got 3 cars. That's nuts. So about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I sold my SUV. I took the money and I bought VeChain for 1.3 pennies. Smart move. Even right now, I'm still ahead by, you know, a factor of 3.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. So, you know, you gotta, people say, well, you know, I don't have any money. Like the other day I was on with Colleen, and, you know, we were talking about, you know, sacrificing. People say, you know, you go out for a sushi dinner, you go to a halfway decent joint, you're going to spend $150. And I showed her the example at 77 cents, you're going to get 128 XRP times 50,000. You're looking at $6.4 million in, you know, a year and a half, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road. So that sushi dinner cost you $6.4 million. It's called sacrifice. Stay home, eat a bowl of pasta and some freaking, you know, meatballs, whatever, and a salad, and take the $100 and throw it in. Oh, I ain't got no money. How about your garage? I bet you got a lot of shit in your garage that's just sitting there collecting dust. You know, you ever hear the terminology, one man's junk is another man's treasure? Get rid of your junk.
Sure.
And put it into XRP. There's no excuses. None.
There really isn't.
So, yeah, Daniel, how long have you been in XRP? How long?
For about 3 years now, Mel. Yep.
3 years.
So,
okay, good. So you got in at good price points.
I did. So I was buying around that 17, 18 cent range. Accumulated quite a bit. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I hope you're going to be one of the stories that comes out of our Telegram group that we say, hey, Daniel came into, you know, I guess you're probably a coach. You're helping people buy and stuff, and people have a lot of questions because this stuff is not easy.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, and you know, I mean, I've got family, friends, you know, anyone that buys into and sees the vision here, right? I've gotten them in on it. So, and I do it every day too as well. So, yeah.
Cool.
Hey,
and
Mel,
you know,
quick question. You mentioned the buyout. What are the
sure.
What's your thoughts around that? Right? Do you think that's a possibility, or you think that's bypassed? Or
if you read the actual document that these people put together, when I say these people happen to be lawyers. It's not like a memorandum of understanding or a letter of intent. This reads like a contract, several page contract. You don't go and write a contract as a proposal to give to the Federal Reserve, which is about to, by the way, go out of business. Okay? Because when Jesser and Esra takes over, the Federal Reserve and the IRS will be the first ones to go. Whatever's left of the IRS is going to be merged with the Treasury. And I believe Ripple will be merged with the Treasury as well, because they know those tokens, those 50 billion things they have are worth a shitload of money. That's why they're doing a proposal to get bought out. Okay. They bought the gold back in the 1930s, right? They went home, they confiscated all the gold. And what happened? 2 weeks later, the gold was worth 2.5 times what it was worth prior. Right? So they probably already know that XRP, for example, hypothetically speaking, is worth 100, 150,000. Sure, they'll pay you 35,000. They'll pay you 37,500 for each one if they know it's worth 3-4 times that. Why not? You know?
Yeah, hey,
So
I definitely see that. Yep.
you're going to have to stabilize the price, because once they need it to move all the money on Earth, they can't have a coin that goes up 30, 40% in one day, or up or down, whatever. So at some point, yes, will the token, let's say 50,000 is the magic number, argument's sake. Can it go up $50 in a day and down $50 the next day? Yes, but it's not going to go down, from 50,000 down to 20,000, and then from 20,000 to 70,000. It's not going to do that, because you're not going to be able to move anything. But at this point, I believe the programming of the stability of the coin has already been done. Okay, so any other questions out there? I know Ellen's got to have a question out there.
You mentioned, I do. You mentioned VeChain. Is there a code for that, like XLM or XRPs or?
Yeah, VET, V-E-T.
VET. Okay, thank you.
If you go to a channel, it's called, on YouTube, it's called Token Vision. Okay, they have about 4 or 5 videos that are very well produced, I might add, on VeChain. Okay. That I guarantee you watch those videos, you're going to get serious case of FOMO. You might have to go see a doctor. Yeah. VeChain is a force to contend with. So do you guys like our Telegram group?
Yes,
you guys like our Telegram group? What do you think of our Telegram group? Do you think it's a service that's needed? I know we don't charge you anything. It's like basically it's tech support for buying your cryptos and storing your cryptos in a safe place, free of charge.
Well, for someone who has only been into crypto, not even a month, I appreciate it. So these other gentlemen have been, and yourself have been in it for a lot longer, so they might have a better answer. But for one of the newbies, me, I'm a newbie. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And were you able to buy your cryptocurrency on the account that you were in our room? I never asked you.
I bought it on Uphold. I asked in the room where I should buy it, and one of the admins responded with Uphold. So that's what I did. Then that fake Mel tried to get me to put it onto a ledger, and I couldn't because it wouldn't allow me. Thank God, because then he couldn't get my information. And that's why I'm not using any of those other ledgers. I'm deleted them all.
Cool. And have you guys, any of you guys gone through our quantum financial systems manual at all?
I haven't yet, but I need to do that. I've been in, I was COVIDed from my job in July of, I guess that was 20. And before I started working again, and then I, especially after President Trump supposedly lost in November 2020, I started listening to different people. Before that, I was like most people, too busy working, paying bills, working, paying the mortgage. So the funny thing is, I think a lot of people that weren't already, quote, awake, got awake like I did because they had no choice. They were home. So, and then especially if you were a Trump supporter, you wanted to find out what in the hell happened. And then how the courts and everybody were just ignoring what we knew was wrong, because Arizona in particular, we know damn well we didn't vote Democrat. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
And,
well, what do you guys, what do you guys think about it?
So that's how I started. Then people started talking about Bitcoin. I'd never heard of Bitcoin.
Right.
Or any of this. So that's kind of where that's why I just started doing it, because I started listening to your room because someone had shared the link on Telegram. And I'm like, all right, I've got the money. I'm gonna, not a lot of it, but I'm gonna spend some on XLM and spend some on XLP and see what's happening. And now I'm also reassured, because it's so volatile right now, that I'm just going to ignore the volatility and just let it sit there, because it's going to happen.
Absolutely. This is just a game of patience.
Yeah.
You know, the money from the impatient goes to the people who are patient. That's what this is. And,
I
you
like
know,
that.
the rest of the world's not here yet. We're, you know, 0.0000001% of the world's population is in cryptos. The rest of them are not here yet, and they have to be here. So we provide a service. By the way, what do you guys think about Cynthia's med beds? And we're getting ready to do a live demo, supposedly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks with my mom, who's not doing so well physically. Mentally, she's sharp, but physically, she's deteriorating like real fast.
I actually signed up for her website.
Oh, good. Good. Because we're all sick. We're not dying. We're dying slowly, but we're all sick.
Well, yeah,
You
because
know what I
they
mean?
did that on purpose.
It's all design. It's all by design. So here's the protocol going forward with that. And I want to get maybe some feedback from you guys, if you don't mind. What I want to do is I want to go live potentially. It could be done on 2 YouTube channels simultaneously, Twitch and Rumble, like 4 channels. But I want to disable where people can do comments. But I want to leave the link to our Telegram group that if they want to comment while we're live, they can only do so in our Telegram group. Okay. Reason being, it's going to maybe allow us to sort of fly under the radar. You know what I mean? Because if you got like, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, which is what I expect will show up for something like this. And on the second one, if the first one is successful, which I believe it will be, there'll probably be millions of people tuning in live.
You might want to do D Live and maybe Odyssey and some of the other ones too, because you can disable the comments. I think that's fine. But I think that way you can share with more people. I'll say it like that.
D Live and what's the other one?
It's called Odyssey. I'm not on that one, but a lot of people, especially like Carrie Cassidy, I think she's on that too. ODYSCE, I think. ODY Odyssey. So, and because I guess it's difficult to post, and Rumble might be another one as well, because Rumble is actually one that President Trump is supporting. But I don't know how, I'm not one that does live, so I'll say it like that. So I don't know if it would be easier to do it, but I know D Live does go live, but you can upload it then to Rumble. But I know like Phil and some other people, they simultaneously do lives on Rumble, D Live, and there's one other, Twitch, I think it's called. So I think the med beds are important enough to get out there. Now, also, I heard that the military is going to be running that, and the med beds is not something people are going to make money on. This is definitely a service that's supposed to be being provided complimentary to the world by all the militaries of the world. Supposedly, that's what I had heard.
Well, I think Operation Speed was to flood the market. It was twofold. Flood the market with placebos, number one. And number two, the respirators. We've been building respirators since we've been building, you know, Model T Fords. They're not building respirators. They're building med beds.
Yes. Yes. And I think that, and I think there's a couple pharmaceutical companies that are involved in the development of the med beds.
Okay. So what do you think of the idea of going live, but not allowing people to comment directly on the live YouTube feed or Rumble and all that, just to stay under the radar and say, if you want to talk about this, you can click on this link and join our Telegram.
I think it's good because comments are distracting.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's probably what you anticipating what probably this live would be going on for 3 to 5 hours or 15 minutes.
Well, I'd like to stay on for a minimum of 6, because she said from once she gets out of the med bed, within an hour to 6 hours, there is a massive transformation. And then the cells are constantly reminding your organs and your skin and everything and your metabolism to act at optimal levels. Within 6 to 7 weeks, the transformation again is dramatic. So we're looking at, you know, somebody who's completely out of shape and coming out the other side, and within 6 or 7 weeks span, we're looking at maybe potentially a 35-year-old gorgeous looking woman.
I'd like to go back to that.
I hope I don't come out of I'm hoping I don't come out a woman, but
Oh, God.
No. My first
No,
question
that's
to
enough.
Cynthia, yeah, my very first question, the first time I interviewed her, I says, can we put in all the Democrats first and let them come out the other side and they're Republican, you know?
right.
And I
I
do
think
think
when all this is done, there won't be any Democrats or Republicans. When this is all
I
done,
don't think so
it's
either.
just going to be people. Just
Right.
going to be people.
Yeah,
You know?
and I
totally.
do think the med beds are supposed to also be able to regrow limbs, which I think is important for a lot of people, especially the military and veterans.
Well, that's exactly correct. That's
It's
why I
amazing.
expect, yeah, this is why I expect the floods of people to tune in live, because when you do, say, my mom who's got epilepsy has got 19 other elements, and she comes out the other side and she's perfectly healthy within 6-7 hours. And then you put somebody on your next live, you put somebody in that was blown up in Iraq, okay, who's got no limbs, no arms, no legs, and you put him in and he's got arms and legs.
Yeah,
You're not going to be
I
able to,
think
you know.
on the med bed
Hey,
site, I actually been reading videos about it, and to regrow limbs, it's not just one session.
I don't know yet. I don't have all the answers. I'm studying Cynthia's website because I have an account there as well. And I've been, I had the computer read it to me because I absorb better when I hear instead of just reading. And it's pretty wild stuff. But from what I understand, and this is what I would like to have at least another, conference with her prior to going live. From what I understand, there's a lot of misconceptions out there that, for example, if you got like a fake knee, that the knee is going to disintegrate into the fabric of the earth and it's going to build you a new knee. No, from what I understand, if I understand it correctly, I could be wrong, is that they would have to physically, remove that knee with surgery first and then put you in the med bed and then it will grow, your knee.
Oh, I don't know about the people have had hip replacements and all that, but I know for people who have extremities lost, like war, that they said it would take 2 sessions. This is when they were first starting to talk about it. I did a lot of deep dive into it too. It's supposed to be complimentary to all people around the world. Governments are supposed to be sponsoring it, or probably part of the RV monies are going to be sponsoring it, with the Zim and all that other stuff. But that there's for the they're doing the military and the children from the DUMS first right now. They're actually doing them now. And then it's going to be rolled out. Supposedly the med beds are supposed to be up in Canada first. That's the first country to get them, supposedly. I don't know though.
There's a lot of speculation and rumors out there. Really don't know what's real, what's not. I do know that I was able to speak with, one of the doctors for Cynthia's project. And based on what I learned in very short time, I said for the safety of the doctor and the doctors, okay, it's best that we don't do an interview with him because we don't want to put that team at risk, So we're making sure that we're doing things so methodically that when we do this, it's going to be a complete success.
Yeah,
so
because right
we'll
now,
know more.
Yeah,
we'll know
right
more
now
as we
people
go
are
forward.
People that are asleep still aren't believing in that, still aren't believing in the cures, still aren't believing in the free electricity. So there's a lot of things that hopefully will come out with the EBS and the messaging and everything else, not just the declassifications.
Well, there are people that also, if they saw a UFO or an IFO, identified flying object, which is what they are, okay, land on their front lawn and, 12 extraterrestrials came out and they would deny that even happened. So there are going to be people that are going to physically watch my mother potentially go into this med bed, come out, and 6 hours later, she's perfectly healthy. She lost maybe 40, 50 pounds of body weight, et cetera. As a matter of fact, she said, can you please tell Cynthia, forget about the cafeteria because they want to put the cafeteria inside the facility, right? They said, put a boutique because if I lose 50 pounds, I need to buy, so you go shopping for some clothes. So, yeah. So, but anyway,
well, hopefully,
Some
all,
people are gonna
I think we,
some
Mel,
people
I
are
think
gonna deny
we
it.
all pray that it works.
Yeah, we
Yes.
all pray that it works, but some people are going to deny it. Look, my argument is this, and I think it's a fair argument. What kind of guarantees are the doctors giving me? No, the guarantees I'm getting
No.
from the doctors right now, based on them using this petroleum-based drugs that don't work. They're constantly,
Sure.
you know, she's got
Sure.
more, you know, other situations and reactions to the drugs. You know, she keeps going down this road in 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 maybe at the most, she's gone, right? So it's a gamble that we have to take. I don't think it's a gamble based on what I know. And I know enough to be dangerous, but I also know enough to keep my mouth shut. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Funny.
when it happens, it happens.
The funny thing is, my mom passed away in 2000, but in the 90s, she used to be saying, "Why are all these pharmaceuticals starting to advertise on TV?" And then all of a sudden, they started to give you a bunch of codicils, but all these reactions. And she's like, they should not be allowed to advertise on TV because the normal person is believing what they're saying on the ads and then talking to the doctor, and the doctor's just making money on selling it to them. I mean, she said that. And that was
Yeah.
what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is all going to go away. Let's leave it at this, guys. How many of you believe that XRP can very easily hit 50,000 when it's convenient for the people upstairs, not us? We are just going along for the ride. Okay.
Oh, it's going to go. I think it's going to go.
Daniel, you're saying on the same page?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I did have one more quick question for you, Mel.
Sure.
You said I've heard that you participated in the Flare airdrop. And what about the Songbird airdrop? Did you get distributed? Are you?
We got the Songbird. Yeah. Yeah. We got the Songbird. My wife has been, she's been staking it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. See, this Flare drop, the Spark token, as far as I'm concerned, it's ready. I believe PolySign is ready. Okay, PolySign is going to simplify the market. In other words, you're going to be able to buy your cryptos on PolySign and store them as easily as you could store your money at Bank of America or Chase, etc. You're going to be able to log in and see an itemized list of everything you spent your money on. You're going to know exactly if you're staking your money, exactly how much money you're earning, etc. And everything's going to be, you know, very simplified in the sense that the security is going to be such that there's maybe a thumbprint, maybe an eye retina scan. Maybe they'll call you on your cell phone and they'll say, hey, you know, they'll send you like maybe 3 numbers or 4 numbers or whatever that you got to punch in to make sure it's you, right? So nobody can steal your money. So they're going to put up a system that is going to be so hacker proof, no hacker in the world is going to be able to take your money. Number one, they're going to simplify it. Number two, but they're not out. Why? Because they're waiting for this lawsuit to go away. It's smart. You know what I mean? Yep. Obviously, you know, I'm sure that Vitalik, whatever his name is, the guy that, you know, created Ethereum, is scared out of his mind because he knows his days are numbered. You know? Yep. So if you own XRP for long term, like you guys own for a while, you guys are getting 1.1, I believe, or something like that, or 1.01 for every XRP you own, Spark token. So you were able to literally capture lightning in a bottle twice.
Right.
You know? So you're about to get very, very wealthy. You know? And the sad part, it's all going to go away. At some point, it's going to go away. The money's going to disappear.
Sure. Sure.
And Mel, have you heard? Yeah. Have any of you heard about the Q phone and what's going on with that?
I thought the Q phone was maybe the one that's coming out with Tesla. Did you see that phone? That's like a phone on steroids. It's programmed specifically for cryptos. It's programmed that you could take it to Mars with you and spend the Mars token on Mars.
Yeah, supposedly the Q phones are supposed to be provided to, again, the world by the government at no charge. And and supposedly Steve Jobs did not die. And he's been working with the white hats of the military developing this phone.
There's a lot of rumors out there. I don't know if you know. I don't know if Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley are still alive. I don't know if they're going to be at the inauguration party. You know,
I think Frank's
if
dead,
they are, I hope they invite me. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm a
Hey,
jokester.
as far
I
as
like
the med
fun.
bed,
Yeah.
hey, as far as the med bed goes, Mel, with since everything's quantum, and obviously there's a quantum financial system, there has to be a quantum computer, which I believe already exists. But
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
that
yeah.
being said, does that quantum computer need to be up and running for that quantum med bed to actually have the juice?
I'm not sure it has
It's just a
anything to do
question.
with it. Yeah, I know that even the people that I'm dealing with through Cindy are very, very. Their words are very measured. Number one, okay,
Yeah.
and I understand.
Yeah.
But I do know that there is a quantum computer system in Reno, Nevada, not too far from a friend of
Sure.
mine who lives in that area. He's got two houses. He's a retired pilot. And he said, Mel,
Sure.
the level of security and military around that facility is unparalleled.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
know
bet.
that sucker is connected with Starlink. So pretty soon you're going to have an internet that's 1,000 times faster. Eventually it's going to be very cheap where everybody can afford it. And you're going to have, if you're on a, most of us, some of us are going to buy a yacht from my friend Will O'Hara, a trimaran, nice, stable, because we like stable coins at 50,000, right? So if you got one of those trimarans and, it's 300 feet long or 400 feet long, and it's like, a palace on, on water, you're going to be able to have internet that's, 1,000 megs up and 1,000 megs down in the middle of the ocean. I'll be able to have a podcast on, and one room will be dedicated to my studio because I'll be bored out of my mind. Wonder how much fishing and scuba diving can I do? I gotta have to have a podcast like every other day where people come on Zoom and I'll interview them about, how's life now that you got, $5 billion in the bank.
Also, I heard QFS also have been running parallel with the Swift financial system for over 2 years. And that's probably how they're tracking some of the bad money, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. So I know some of you guys are probably going to want to buy a yacht.
Maybe.
What do you do with all that money? Imagine if you've got $5-6 billion in the bank and all of a sudden you figure out, holy shit, they're going to release this technology called replicators, and money is going to go out of fashion in 4 or 5 years. You have to figure out how to go onto a quantum financial spending spree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to become our own humanitarian project to go find ways to put the money into good things. Yeah,
we're going to put the money back into society and help a lot of people who need the money.
For sure.
It's not just about us.
No. Yeah,
this is not going to be like a George Soros operation where they're trying to whack you.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's what I know you don't maybe know the exact date, but when are you anticipating the quantum healing bed to that first demonstration to happen? Do you have a date already, or? I'm
thinking weeks, not months. I'm thinking 3 to 5 weeks at the most. Awesome. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what it is.
My dad just had a heart attack on Monday, so fortunately he was able to go in and get a little port and polish, some stents, and he's home today, just 72 hours later. But I've been telling him about the med beds for a long time because we all have a good friend that's not in good health. Get them back in good shape. That'll be a real miracle. And it's
I had one of those.
It's deserved after. It's kind of deserved after all the nonsense.
I had a heart attack for when I was 37 years old, and they put a stent in my. I'll tell you a story, make you laugh. Then we'll close it out with this. And I'm in the operating room, and they're coming through my groin area, to blow out the plaque and all the bullshit, right? And they put the stent, and all of a sudden they shot me up with a drug. And I don't know what drug that was, but that would be my drug of choice if I was into drugs. Okay. Because all of a sudden I was as happy could be. And I said to the doctor, Dr. Avancha, what was that you shot me up with? And he said, Mel, that was morphine. I said, Doc, could you do me a favor? He goes, yeah, what is it, Mel? I said, could you give me a little more of that? And the entire operating room fell on the floor laughing hysterically. True story. You know? So,
That's funny.
you know, I said, you know, he said, you defy the laws of modern medicine because he goes, you should be brain damaged. I said, Doc, I'm already brain damaged when I got here. You don't get it twice, you know? So,
Right.
yeah,
Walk that
that
off.
was a long, long time ago. So, and you know, they actually said that I died for about 4.5 minutes. And I came back and I said, you know, why was I allowed to come back? And I said, you know, heaven didn't want me, and hell, you know, in hell, they thought the devil thought I was going to take over. So they sent me back. Simple, you know?
There you go.
There you go.
So guys, it was real fun. I know we all think that XRP is going to be a big number. We know Bitcoin was a very small number, 000 and an 8. You could have bought 8 Bitcoins for a penny. And that's a coin that doesn't do nothing. And we do everything. We're the 99,000-pound gorilla that's going to come out of the cage. If you want to get rich, you better buy it while it's still 77 cents. Let's do it one more whenever you guys are ready. Just listen, you know, watch the emails that come by. And if you guys are available, just jump on the call. Simple.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you,
Sounds
Mel.
good.
Thanks,
a lot,
Mel.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.